Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to be taking a look at yet another customization program for Windows XP. Now it seems that we've taken a look at a decent amount of these programs recently on this channel. The most recent one was a program by Stardock known as Window Blinds, and this program right here is called StyleXP. It was actually submitted to me by a viewer over on Twitter. And what it is it's a customization program for Windows XP. Now this program hasn't been updated in a while. This is a much older program. The program also doesn't even work on Service Pack 3 of Windows XP. It only works on Service Pack 2 or below. For whatever reason, it just won't install on Service Pack 3. It gives you an error. And I'm going to have this a link to this program down below in the video description if you guys want to go and actually check it out. So enough talking, let's actually go ahead and jump into to this program here. This is actually created by a company that I don't believe exists anymore, called TGT Soft. And this is their agreement right here. We're just going to go ahead and hit I agree and actually install this thing. And what's cool about this is this program is really all inclusive. So it's just finished installing here, and once it finishes installing, it'll come up immediately with this message box here asking you if you want to apply the Panther theme to test out StyleXP. And if you press yes, what it will do is actually apply a macOS 10 style theme, which I think is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of another transformation pack that we took a look at on this channel called Fly a Kite OS 10. But this is the interface of the actual program right here. And as you can see, it's kind of, like I said, it's all inclusive, which I think is very, very awesome, and just very, very cool about this program is you can do just a ton of different things here. On the side here, you have multiple choices of things that you can actually modify, and each of these menus has a couple of different options in kind of the main center portion of the program right here. So on this first options page right here, it's very, very simple stuff. You can choose to enable or disable this program. I can hit disable and say yes, and it should revert this back to the standard theme. You see it's going to do that right now, so it's going to go ahead and change it back over to the regular Luna theme. You can also choose to run it at startup, and you can also choose to run just the service only and not have the entire program run, which could be very, very useful. You can also choose a background for this program. So let's say you wanted to use the default skin. Well, that's what it's on right now. Or you can also use a solid color and just pick literally any color that you want to have as the background of this program. So if you kind of want to customize the program itself a little bit, you have the option to do that. Now it's not much, it's literally just changing the color of the background, but it's still a nice touch. You also have some more options down here, some additional things. You can choose to ignore resources. You can have this program query the theme manager when it searches for themes and files that you have on the system, which I guess you can actually add things to this, which is very, very cool. But it does come, and as you're going to see in a minute here, it does come with a lot of themes right out of the box, which is very, very nice. You can also choose to reapply the theme every time that this program is opened up. So again, very, very simple stuff on this first page here. Let's go ahead and actually jump into some of the actual customization options for Windows itself. And we're going to start off with the Explorer bar. Now, when you do this, for it to actually start modifying the Explorer bar, and what this is, if you don't know, is basically the menu bar in both Windows Explorer and Internet Explorer. So you can actually modify that right through this program here, but for it to actually work, it does kind of let you know, like, hey, you need to actually register this Explorer COM object. So if you hit OK, what it will do is basically enable you and just allow you to actually modify it. If you didn't hit OK there, it would not allow you to modify the Explorer bar. So you've got three different options here. Obviously, the Windows XP default is the default one that is currently applied. You also have Eye Candy Jr. and Electric Blue. Now for each of these themes, you have a couple of options that you can modify right here, and you also have a preview of what all of the actual buttons are going to look like, because what this will do is, as it says with the Explorer bar, it's going to modify all of the icons. And just to kind of show you, let me go ahead and open up a Windows Explorer window right here. What it's going to do is it's going to modify everything in this title bar section. So like this search icon, the folders icon, etc. Just all this stuff up here. So you can see over here in this little preview window, it's actually going to show you what all those icons are going to look like. So you see right here is what the cut icon looks like, what the copy icon looks like, what the paste icon looks like. And once you have it all set up, you can actually hit Apply Explorer Bar. And it will also go through, and because it's going to be modifying Internet Explorer as well, it's going to say that the animated logo has been updated in the actual registry. And when you hit OK, you'll see that it instantly, you don't even have to restart Explorer, it instantly changes over, which is definitely very, very nice. As you know, in some of these programs, you have to actually restart Windows Explorer for the changes to take effect. This is just instantaneous. So you see here now we have a different search icon, a different folders icon. All of the icons have, been completely modified. Now it's only, again, in the actual title bar or the menu bar itself. It's not going to be anything like in this section here or in the actual Explorer window, that shows you all the file content. It's not going to be any of that. But what I can do is go, let's say that I want to try out this Eye Candy Junior theme. I can hit apply, and you'll see that it instantly applies, and it also will resize the actual buttons depending on how big that the icons are. So you probably saw there that everything got a little bit larger because these icons are, well, a little bit larger. So moving down to themes here, you can see that right off the bat, this is something that really surprised me, is it comes with a ton of themes here, and it even comes, I think this is super cool, it even comes with the watercolor themes, so the theme from the Windows Whistler betas. You also have a few various third-party themes, including this Panther one. This was kind of the macOS 10 one, so I can go ahead and apply this here. And for the watercolor theme, we have all of the different variants, so the watercolor ergonomic, the olive green watercolor, and the silver watercolor. So all of the different variants of the theme are in here. So you can see that this one here, this Wisp theme, is kind of a much bluer theme. It kind of changes pretty much every aspect of the actual OS, in its windows here in the start menu, and even in the context menu, makes it blue as opposed to the standard white that it normally is. And it just kind of gives it a whole different look, modifies the buttons. Again, very, very nice. So there's a lot of options in here. Again, each of these themes you can choose to also, and this is very, very nice, you can choose to only apply specific parts of the theme. So for example, if you like this theme but you didn't want the background or the screensavers or the icons that the theme comes with, well, you can do that. You also have a shortcut here to open up the display properties. You can actually create your own theme. You can rename any of these, and you can have this button right here. You can press this to reset it to the XP default style at any time. Again, you can also choose to download a new theme. So yes, you can actually download additional themes from this program, but it opens up the non-existent tgtsoft.com. As far as I know, this website has been discontinued. I don't think that this company is actually developing this program anymore because there's no updates to it. This update right here is the latest update. And I should also say that this is a paid program. I don't really think you can actually buy it anymore, but this is only a 30-day trial, which is kind of similar to Stardock's window blinds. What I find interesting is Stardock and TGTsoft were actually competitors somewhat, and I'm going to be going into that towards the end of this video because I do want to take a look at this program first in its entirety. So visual styles are kind of similar to themes, but it's just the visual style portion of the theme, if you will. So let me just go back to this themes thing here for a second, kind of show you what I'm talking about. Each of these themes has things like different sounds. You can see here, it'll show you what sounds that each of these themes has. It shows you the background and the visual style. So the visual styles option right here is just the visual style minus the background and the sounds that would come bundled with it. So you have all of your same themes in here, but it's when you hit apply here, it's only going to apply the visual style to the current theme that you're using. Moving on to backgrounds, it's kind of the same thing here. It's just taking the backgrounds portion of the themes and allowing you to select different backgrounds. This is basically just a glorified wallpaper changer. Not really anything too special here. You literally have a list of a bunch of different wallpapers on your system, including all of the default ones. Now Logons, this is interesting because this is kind of combining, and you can see there's also boot screens right here. What I like about this program is it basically combines, if you remember, I've taken a look at a number of different Stardock programs on this channel. And Stardock has a program called Bootskin, they have a program called Logon Studio, and they have a program called Window Blinds. Window Blinds is, desktop customization for themes. Bootskin modifies the boot screen, and Logon Studio modifies the login screen. This program right here does it all. It has the ability to modify the visual style and the theme. It has the ability to modify the logon screen and the boot screen, all just contained in this one program, which is very nice because Stardock, as far as I know, does not have a program that does all of it. They have a pack of programs called Object Desktop that comes with all of those programs, but they don't have one program that does everything, at least to my understanding. So that's something that, especially back in 2004 when this program came out, it was something that I believe Stardock wasn't doing at that time. Again, they still had all of those 3 separate programs, but they didn't have it all bundled under one roof. So right here, I mean, you can change the logon screen, what it looks like. You can also modify, if you want, the welcome screen to show if you want fast user switching enabled. Now, yeah, it literally actually modifies the control panel settings themselves to enable it. So again, kind of a shortcut, so you don't have to go into the control panel and find all these options yourself. And again, you can actually rename this if you want to. You have an option to reset it to the XP default. And you can also download new logons if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and just take a look at this other one here. Hit switch user, and this is what this other logon screen looks like. So let's go ahead and log back in here. So that is the logon screen section. Let's go ahead and move on to icons here. So you have a couple of different icon sets in here. You also have, I think this is the only one that's actually like a third-party one, and it's the XP Eye Candy. What's also cool is you can choose, again, kind of if you only wanted a certain part of this pack to be applied, you could go in here and instead of choosing all icons, let's say you only want the shell icons or the folder icons or just the drive icons. We'll go ahead and apply all of them here. You can also choose the size of these icons if you want to. So if we want to go all out and make it 128 by 128, we can do that here. And you can see these icons are just massive. I mean, oh my gosh, that is crazy. It's even totally glitching out here. So we'll hit apply here. And it'll give you this list of, okay, what icons do you want to apply? We'll go ahead and just choose all of them here and hit OK. And now it's going to apply every single icon that is in this pack here across the entire system. So I don't think having it at 128 by 128 is really the best thing, because you can see that it's really glitching out here. We'll go ahead and just set it to 32 by 32. So actually, let's go ahead and 48. So this looks a little bit better. Very nice. Again, we can go into the programs here. You can see that there's a couple of different, actually some of these don't even change. It's mainly Internet Explorer and the folder icons, but we can open up a Explorer window. We can go to my computer here and see that all of these, it kind of gives me a bit of a Linux vibe here. Just kind of this icon right here in particular kind of reminds me of something like Ubuntu Linux, maybe a bit of an older version, but yeah, so that's that. Just again changes icons. For some reason these window controls are extremely small. Moving on to boot screens, it's kind of the same thing. Now it does warn you here that boot screens can be dangerous. Not that they're going to kill you or anything, it's just kind of letting you know that if you mess up something in here, it could, do your system harm, if you will. So when you hit OK here, it kind of gives you a bunch of different prompts here. Are you sure that you want to proceed? Because it's actually going to modify your boot.ini file, so it kind of warns you, are you sure that you want to do this? So we'll hit yes, and then you have to hit yes once again, and now it will actually let you modify the boot screen. But still, we have a couple of different boot screens here. We can go in here and, edit the boot timeout. You can actually convert a .zip file to the smaller .boot screen format, as it says down here. You can view the information, so kind of who it was created by. So for this one here, it'll probably just say, yeah, it's not a .boot screen file. So you would have to use a .bootskin file with this program, and that's something that we're going to get into in a minute. You might remember the .bootskin file format is a Stardock file format. This program kind of just works with the Stardock proprietary file formats, which is something that, from my understanding, Stardock didn't really take too kindly of, and I'll go ahead and talk about that again towards the end of this video. But yes, you can use a Stardock, as far as I know, you can use a Stardock.bootskin file, and I believe for the Logon Studio, yes, you can use a .logonxp file which is again another Stardock file format. So you also have transparency options. Moving on, you have options to actually enable some Aeroglass-ish transparency. This was even before Aeroglass, so I shouldn't even really say that. Well, I shouldn't say that because Longhorn was obviously being developed at this time, because this was released in 2004. But you do have options in this program to literally enable, I keep wanting to say Aeroglass, but just enable transparency. And you can make things very transparent. So let's just say all menus here, and let's say that I want, let's just do taskbar, start panel. It says that the start panel will flash, and start menu. So you can choose everything here, and you can see that now we actually have a bit of transparency going on in the start, or in the taskbar, and in the start menu as well, which looks very, very cool. So we can go ahead and make this, you can make this very high. You can make the start panel transparency very high, and literally like make it, it's basically just like changing the opacity of it. It makes it a little bit harder to see, but you can see behind it, which is very cool if you're going for that transparent look. So we'll go ahead and just leave it at that for now. Under rotate, I think this is pretty cool. You can kind of create a rotating list of themes, styles, backgrounds, and logons to automatically rotate. And you can also change the frequency. So if every day you want a new theme or a new logon screen, you can have it change every single day. You can change it every single week, or you can change it at logon. So if you log off and on your computer multiple times a day, you could have it kind of set, or kind of have a fresh new look for you when you log back on. So definitely a very nice touch as well. And cursors here, there are no additional cursor packs aside from the Windows XP default one. But if you had one, if you had a cursor pack available to you, you could download it and use it with this program. And again, you could also download them from the now defunct tgtsoft.com if it was obviously still online. Last but not least, let's take a look at screensavers. This again isn't really anything special because you can add screensavers yourself. Just by, now I think you have to manually do it, adding the actual screensaver to the System32 folder. This one does come with a ton of like custom screensavers. You can see a little preview of them over here, which I think actually a lot of these look pretty cool. But I believe you might be able to still, actually no, so you cannot change these from the standard screensaver control panel. You have to do these from this program. But you can see that, it just kind of adds its own screensavers in here. Again, you could download more if you wanted to. You can also choose it if you want it to be active. You can choose it to, show on the welcome screen if you want to. But again, it's just a bunch of different screensavers. But like I said, a lot of these look very, very cool. And all this stuff that I just showed you comes with this program. So that's basically it for everything in the sidebar here. Let's go ahead and actually just take a look very briefly at the registration page here. Now, what I find interesting is not only can you register this online, which you can't do anymore, but you can also register it via mail. You can send a check for $19.95 to this address, which I looked up in New Orleans, Louisiana. I was thinking of just mailing like a actual check, inside of an envelope to this address, but I figured that it probably wouldn't really do much because this company, as far as I know, is non-existent anymore. So you couldn't cash a check made out to a non-existent company, and somebody would just be flooded with mail. So yeah, but this is basically how you could actually register this program. If you didn't want to pay online, you could actually mail them a check. You could send them this key, which is kind of like your hardware ID number, and then they would mail you back a registration code that you could put in here and actually register the program. So that is basically it for the program. But like I said, there's a very interesting story behind this company and their relationship with Stardock. So let me go ahead and actually touch on that very briefly here. So right here we have an archived web page from the Win Customized forums, which is a Stardock owned website. And this post was created in 2003, at the very end of 2003. And this post here basically lets all of the users, I believe this is a Stardock representative kind of, making this post here, but it kind of details a bit of a legal issue that Stardock actually got sued by TGTsoft. Now, I wasn't able to find any information, kind of the outcome of this lawsuit. Basically, what was happening here is TGTsoft was trying to use Stardock's icon packager theme file format without liability. Stardock even says down here they were trying to when they first heard about this, they obviously didn't want them to do it. They offered them, they offered to license the file format to them, and they kind of said here that this isn't like they're giving away this program for free. They're charging $20 for it. Stardock is also charging money for their programs. They obviously want to make money on stuff that they actually created themselves, and not have some other company come in and take that file format and create a similar program that uses it and tries to get money basically off of Stardock's creation. That was kind of what I got by actually reading this here. So it's a very, very interesting case. And yes, like I said, I wasn't able to find any actual information about the outcome of this specific lawsuit right here, but I was able to find another case in which Stardock sued TGT-Soft basically over a similar issue. This time it was with their Cursor XP file format. Stardock also has a program called Cursor XP. It's a cursor modification tool for Windows XP, and TGT-Soft in their program here released an update. I believe it was this update right here that enables you to use cursors, and as Stardock claims in their suit here, has an option to use a Stardock proprietary file format. And this case was dismissed without prejudice. I'm sure that an actual lawyer could explain what this means better than I can, so if anybody wants to, that is an actual lawyer, and you want to kind of explain what happened here, or if you guys know any further details about this case, be sure to leave a comment down below, as that would definitely help a lot of people, including myself, to kind of understand what happened here. But it seems to me like there was a battle over using the Stardock proprietary file format, and I believe in this forum post here somewhere I saw somebody kind of make the analogy of, well, this is kind of like Microsoft Office, like the .docx, like Microsoft proprietary file format that they created for Microsoft Word, being used by OpenOffice or some other third-party program. Now that happens, and it's not really an issue nowadays. So they were kind of trying to make that analogy with this whole issue here. So again, it's a very, very interesting case. I'm not really sure what the outcome was, but as far as I know, TGT-Soft isn't around anymore, and it very well could be because of those lawsuits. But anyway, that is a very, very brief look at StyleXP. Again, it's a very, very cool piece of software. There's a lot of customization options contained in this program. Like I always do in these videos, I will have a link down below if you want to actually go and check it out, for yourself, and kind of see what this program can do. But if you guys found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, be sure to get subscribed down below, and turn on those channel notifications if you haven't already, to get notified whenever that I upload new videos, which I do every single week on this channel. And if you guys, as always, have any sort of video, suggestions or questions, or just, general comments for myself, be sure to leave them down below, as I always enjoy reading what you guys have to say. And as always, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.